Okay, guys, we're super fast. We're gonna get on to our next game. We've got another TVZ, and I'm really excited to see how this one turns out because I had a 3-0 prediction from one of the players. So let's get him out here. The Zerg player, the Phenom, who has blown my mind, and I'm sure a lot of minds, of a lot of nerds out there. Please welcome Karante VortiX. And his opponent, the up till now totally unstoppable dominant force in this tournament, SuperNova! Do you guys have any words for each other? No? Let's rock. Take it away, casters.
Sweet. We're pretty deep in this tournament, Artosis. These two guys, interesting story. SuperNova is so dominant from the get-go here at the Intel Extreme Masters. And VortiX is just, he's unstoppable at this point in time.
He looks so good.
He 3-0'd 4GG.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about this match? Who takes it?
No clue. Absolutely no clue.
I'm going to do the craziest prediction ever. I think VortiX is going to take it. And here's why. Here's why. 4GG, really aggressive. Why did he keep losing? Because he kept attacking when he should have been defending. Who's more aggressive than 4GG?
SuperNova.
Yeah, there's about 2 Terrans in the world more aggressive than him. Maybe Marine King and SuperNova. So that might play into VortiX's plans. As long as he can lose at least 1 hatchery to SuperNova, I think he'll take it.
Well, we'll have to see, exactly what SuperNova has planned in this game. Obviously, I think SuperNova and everybody else is surprised that here VortiX is in 4GG's place, doing so well. Yeah. And again, not even just beating 4GG, but completely annihilating him. I mean, 3-0, man. That's unheard of.
That's right. But SuperNova has only lost 1 game in the whole tournament. His overall record is 10-1. He won his group, and he looked like a badass. Look, he only had to beat 2 players to even get here, one of which was also in the top 12. So.
Also, Artosis, no more Protosses in the tournament.
That's it. Protosses are gone.
What do you think of that?
Well, I hope that some of these Terran guys can end up winning, so it's not 4 Zergs left over.
Could be 4 Zergs.
Yeah.
Zerg's really dominant right now, especially outside of Korea. Then again, inside of Korea, they're doing pretty well as well. Mm-hmm. And it looks like we've got the game loaded up. Are you guys excited to be here at the Intel at the IEM? Are you guys ready? I'm so pumped to see this game, especially these two, because I have no idea where it's going to go.
Well, we'll get right into it now. Tasis, why don't you go ahead and introduce us?
Over here in the upper left, so far, along with his opponent, probably one of the 2 best players as far as performance goes in this tournament. Give it up for SuperNova. And in the bottom right starting location, we have our Zerg player, Lucifron's brother, undefeated against 4GG. Give it up for VortiX.
All right, so it's in Tomb Valley, cross spots this time. And that's going to be pretty good for VortiX. He wants to be as far away as possible so that the aggression of SuperNova takes longer to get there and is less effective.
Well, the barracks is going down now. This is in Tomb Valley, and it's a map where if you're, let's say you both share the top, or let's just say, for instance, you both share the left, or you both share the right. Rushes on this map are very good. You can put a bunker right here, tuck a Marine in there so that the Marine can cover the bunker until the bunker finishes and really destroy the expansion hatchery. But in this case, they're so far away that probably won't be an issue.
Yeah. In fact, will SuperNova even go for 2 barracks play? It looks like probably not. It's looking very much like it's just going to be a 1 barracks expand. And, that's still completely doable. It's still a great build on this map. But this is the one map that if you're going to 2 racks, this is probably a good one for it.
Well, it does look like we're going to have a fast expand here for SuperNova. Do you think we're going to see the Banshee play that we saw previously, Artosis?
Probably.
Think so?
Probably. I mean,
Hellion Banshee or just?
Yeah, I think Hellion Banshee. I don't know that SuperNova's going to go Cloak. I mean, 4GG, he pretty much always goes Cloak. SuperNova, it's a little bit harder to tell. He's going to be aggressive in a lot of ways, but I don't know if that's one of them.
As you can see here, the drone now moving back out. There's not much else you can do here, especially with the Marine. Might as well send that drone back and get some extra minerals.
And, you know, I love that VortiX is actually drone scouting in all these games against Terran. Because if you don't, then eventually Korean Terrans figure it out, and they will just double proxy 11 racks you. But by doing this in every game, there's no way that's going to happen. There could be 2 barracks play, but most likely not going to be 11-11.
All right, double gases. So we're most likely, definitely, positively, Artos is going to see quick Banshees here. And, you know, I guess the question is are these Banshees going to do any damage assuming he goes that? I mean, VortiX has had some pretty bulletproof defenses here.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he just kind of follows what 4GG was doing, because 4GG just kept killing hatcheries. And if VortiX loses a hatchery to SuperNova, I would definitely put SuperNova a little bit higher than 4GG as far as skill goes.
Yeah, I got to go with you on that one. Now the Marines are out here. They want to see if there's any additional Zerglings. Occasionally you can get a stray Overlord, for instance. That Zergling does get away and will heal up all that extra energy. And factory. So let's see if the factory goes ahead and makes a tech lab here while the starport's on the way. And after that, I'll probably take the factory, put it here where the barracks is, then go for the Hellion Banshee that we were talking about.
Yep. And VortiX, in the meantime, will he be going for more than 4 queens? Because that's what he's been going for every single game. And that's been part of the problem with dealing with Hellion Banshee. If you have 6 queens, you're going to deal with it way, way better. But if you just have 2 out there, that's something that can be killed off.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Now we got the SCV here to spot for this extra base. Now the SCV just barely did not see the hatchery, so it's hard to confirm, in fact, that that's what's coming for him. So the 4 Marines are going to come up here and do a little bit of pushing.
I like this a lot. He might actually get a force cancel. He might even get an Overlord. We'll see, though. The Overlord's turning around now. He does not want to lose those. Can he force a cancel on this hatchery? And even if he doesn't, a lot of damage being done to it is really strong as well.
All right, the Overlord getting low in the red now, and it does go down.
Wow.
He should probably leave now, since there are 10 Zerglings on the way. I don't think he's going to get a forced cancel here. You
know what? He might be doing this just so that he can go ahead and have more damage on it for when his Hellions and Banshees come.
Oh, you are so smart, Artosis. That could be exactly what's going on here.
And in fact, he is going for that cloaked Banshee build, just like 4GG was. Look at this, dealing a lot of damage here. And in fact, the Hellions do come in, so the Marines are going to help him clean up these Zerglings as quickly as possible.
Look at the angle in which the Hellions are coming in here at. Whoa! SuperNova.
Well, I gotta say, man, it looks like people have figured out VortiX's opening between 4GG and SuperNova. I'm sure they looked at those games and saw, wow, if you just send 4 Marines with this build,
bam,
just done for.
Well, I guess this means that SuperNova's going to lose now because he got that first hatch. We know what happens when that, when that occurs with VortiX, right?
Well, it was a cancel, though, so.
That's true.
Yeah, we'll see. Now VortiX is going to have to run away. He's getting a lot of lings right now. And SuperNova going to clean up a lot of these creep tumors. I'm a little bit scared for him. If he stays on this creep too long and that speed finishes up, he will end up losing a lot of units.
All right, just pushing back these queens. Again, so much damage being dealt. Oh my God, getting that queen at the last possible second.
Wow. And getting away just before speed. This is so rough for VortiX.
Now what we got to figure out is can VortiX come up with something from here? If you note, the Banshee comes through here hoping to find a drone. Now, he just barely missed that drone. Here comes the Banshee now with Cloak. Lair just now finishes, so he's going to get a lot of drones. This could get out of control, Artosis. 2 kills, 3 kills, and now 4.
It already feels that way, Tasteless. I mean, he's killing so many drones. He's canceled the hatch. He's killed a queen. He's killed a ton of lings. And what has he lost? Nothing that he really cares about.
Overseer finishing very quickly right now, and does not escape. Well, so 1 small victory there for VortiX.
Yeah, and right now SuperNova is going into mech. So this is going to be a lot of fun to see. He's been using mech pretty much exclusively here at this tournament against Zerg. And he's done it with just such great power. Will VortiX know how to deal with this?
Hitting this hatchery again here. Meanwhile, a bunch of Hellions coming down here from the top and hitting these Lings.
Ooh, he wants to keep those Lings alive. It's so important. That is a lot of Hellions, and he's going to force another cancel. This is getting out of control.
And, you know, here's the thing, Artosis. You cannot stay on 2 base against a Terran who's on 2 base for very long. Cloak
Especially
again.
when they're going mech.
He's hitting these drones so hard. Forced to cancel. I don't know, Artosis. Granted, 4GG forced, or killed the hatchery the first time. This is way heavier than what we saw in the 4GG games.
Yeah. Well, the 2 Queens and a ton of Lings coming out. He doesn't want to go up that ramp. It'll just be so inefficient.
Smart move here. Just go behind the minerals.
Oh, that is a good move, yeah. Well, there's a Spire about to finish up, so this could be scary as well. The Mutas coming out will obviously kill off these Hellions, and I think that might actually be what VortiX is waiting for. He needs to get something going. Killing that Hellions might be just that.
And the Queens taking a lot of damage here. It looks like, I don't know, the thing is, SuperNova's kiting these Lings so well.
Oh, this is going to be gross. These Zerglings just going in here, and they are surrounding them, but look at how many Lings he's killing.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That was not an attack that necessarily paid for itself. We have, 5 Zerglings coming out of there? Again, SuperNova playing brilliantly.
Yeah, look at this. The units lost tab. Absolute madness for this early in the game, how uneven that is. He's just, SuperNova is being ridiculously efficient, and he's going mech. And this is the early game. If mech is being this efficient in the early game against you, imagine the late game.
The Banshee on the run. I don't know why he's microing around like that if it's going to die. And back here in the Terran's base, not exactly muta-proof. He has Thors, but, you need a little bit more than that to hold up, a flock of units like we have right here.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, right now, we have a Baneling Nest and Infestation Pit going up for our Zerg players. So that's kind of interesting. The Baneling Nest is really a weird choice because Banelings, of course, do not do well against tanks or Thors, or against Hellions that are microed well, or against the Banshee that's in the sky. It's a weird choice. But anyways, we do see a Magic Box coming in, going after this Thor right away, and he will pick that one off. In fact, going to go after this other one. Wow, this Mutalisk attack doing a great job so far.
He needs to repair this Thor. Can he do it in time? No, but another Thor pops out, and he will repair this one ASAP.
Well, he can trade all day like this, Aces, but that is a lot of SCVs. With the next Thor popping out, he does have to run. But killing that many Thors this early on, it's really expensive and takes a long time to replace them.
Some turrets being placed down here. Probably would just be better if you landed the orbital. But the Thors now are going to chase out these Mutas once again, taking out one. Hellions still in the middle of the map, making sure the Zerg doesn't have control of that Xel'Naga watchtower.
And VortiX, really surprisingly, has continued to make Mutas, so he actually still has 12, despite losing quite a few there. Now we do have these Hellions running over to these Queens. They have a lot of energy, so the Hellions do turn around.
And let's take a look at the supplies here, guys. It's 130 to about 100, 105.
Yeah.
And, that's really bad for Zerg because Zerg let me put it like this. When the Terran's at about 135 supply, the Zerg should be at about 160, 170. Yeah. And it's not happening. It's actually the opposite. If I had to see these supplies, I didn't know the races, I would assume that SuperNova was a Zerg and VortiX was a Terran. So this is really bad news.
Well, VortiX realizes that he's in just a terrible heap of trouble and is almost done his hive. Probably going to go for Broodlords, but Ultras are really good against Thors in the right numbers.
All right, we'll see if he goes in and does that. The Hellions now coming around here. He may try to go ahead and get some more drones, just hurt him a little bit more. Coming in here, melting these Lings, and the drones.
Oh, they're dying just so quickly. +1 Hellions with Blue Flame, just lining up those drones and destroying everything.
Really nice play. The Hellions not as useful in this phase of the game.
SuperNova has killed 35 workers by now.
Oh, my God. And if we look at the unit count here, 54 drones to 79 SCVs, plus 5 mules right now.
I hate to say it, but this has been a completely and terribly one-sided game so far.
Really has been.
I mean, there's never been a moment where I thought VortiX was in a lead or even an equal position as SuperNova.
Now in VortiX's defense, he is doing a pretty good job of just defending. Or I guess I shouldn't say defending, staying alive, not getting forced out of the game yet. He's definitely a tenacious nerd, but I don't know if that's going to be enough.
One thing that is working for VortiX is SuperNova doesn't know that there's actually a hive already out. So if he has just a handful of Thors as his actual anti-air army, he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that is very true. He is getting a Raven now, and I don't know if that's for Seeker missiles or point defense drone. Probably not for point defense drone, I think, but or just to detect the creep tumors. But
yeah,
we'll see.
I think it has a lot to do with the creep tumors, and of course you got to watch out for Burrow with roaches. It can be useful at times against mech if you catch them off guard. So that's going to be just kind of a useful unit overall.
All right, here are the creep tumors. The Raven should be meeting up with the army now, and there it is. And he's going to go ahead and move down here to the bottom right and clean up all the hard work that VortiX put into kind of having a highway here on the map for his units.
Well,
are the Broodlords out? They're on the way.
Paces, you know what? He has literally just a handful of Thors, 6 of them, and 1 Raven as his anti-air with this army. The rest of it's Banshees and Hellions. So these 8 Broodlords actually could do a good job.
Let's see if he gets this hatchery before the army gets here. All right, and he is going to do what? Okay, 1 hit point there for a second. That would have been weird. Now he's running. This really goes to show you the speed of Broodlords is almost non-existent, as this is a high-speed Thor Broodlord chase.
Well, here come the Broodlords. If they can trap some of them, that will be great. He needs to reduce this Thor count as best he can right now.
All right, here come the Lynx now.
And look at that, taking down a Thor already. These Broodlords pushing back SuperNova. And, SuperNova has dominated this whole game, but the tech of our Zerg player VortiX is doing a great job.
If he comes back from this, I don't even know if there's a word in the English language for what I will be feeling in that moment. That is insane. Making a planetary over here. He needs to get some anti-air. Does he have? It looks like he only has Thors right now.
Yeah, he's starting to make a few Vikings. He added a single starport, and he does have a reactor on one. So he can make 3 Vikings at a time, which will help. But, I mean, these Broodlords are coming for him right now.
All right. This is the one moment for VortiX to come back. Can he do it? He will easily destroy the planetary with these Lings and Broodlings chewing up the exterior of it. Now pushing forward over here. He needs to get more Vikings. He has, let's see, looks like he's got 3 Vikings out so far. Not enough for this amount of Corruptors and Mutas. Oh my God, Artosis. Are we going to see VortiX actually win this?
It could be, but he's got to watch out. These Vikings are there now, and they're going to do a pretty good job because as the Corruptors come up, they will be targeted down by Thors. In fact, VortiX is starting to split everything up. A lot of damage being done to 3 of these Broodlords. The other one's not even touched yet, though.
Yeah, the Thor volley's definitely hitting these Broodlords over here. Closing in. He wants to send these Lings in, but there's just too many Hellions at the moment. Lings coming in here, trying to engage Blue Flame Hellions, backing up. 3 more Broodlords on the way. We're down to 4 with 1 at 9 HP. It goes down. Another one goes down. 2 left, but 3 more again on the way over here.
He's continuing to make more and more and more. In the meantime, these Blue Flame Hellions stopping any ground reinforcements. Uh-oh, his Broodlord count is severely dropping. And in fact, is he going to run away or is he just waiting? And in fact, he's just waiting. But those Thor volleys with their splash damage dealing a lot to these Broodlords.
This is one of the first times I've really seen Thors take on Broodlords and kind of will come out with a win. You know what it is? The Blue Flame Hellions are killing the Broodlings so fast that as they land, they do like 1 hit and that's it.
That's right. So you just basically have the Broodlord's damage itself, but really the power behind them is that of the Broodling. And it looks like he has cleaned it up. VortiX in a lot of trouble, but right now he is switching into Ultras. We'll see if he can get something done with that.
He has, he has 500 gas stocked up. That's not enough for the amount of Ultras that he needs to take on this number of Thors. SuperNova expanding here and also taking this location over here. No orbital there yet, but will be soon. And that's it, GG. He just taps out.
Yeah, he realizes there is no chance at this point, but you know what? He brought it back for a moment. He actually made SuperNova a bit scared. He almost caught him off guard enough to kill him.
It's funny because for, like 80% of that game, it was just SuperNova beating down VortiX. Not one thing going right for VortiX. This guy still manages to get Broodlords, push them all the way across the map, take out the 4th base there for our Terran player SuperNova, and hold the front.
Yeah.
That's pretty insane, Artosis. Now, had he gone back home with the Broodlords, this game might have looked pretty different. But, you know, it's a tough call because how often do you actually pull away when you have Broodlords? You normally just hold your ground.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I'm a little bit scared for VortiX at this point. It feels like he's been figured out by SuperNova with, I'm sure, help from 4GG, as they are good friends. Both used to be on OGS, of course. So that's rough because he just tweaked the build that 4GG used in the early game a little tiny bit, and it smashed VortiX in the early game, just destroyed him. He's going to have to start countering the counter to his build. He needs to make more queens.
You know, you made a really good point with those 4 Marines right at the start, because I was saying he needs to get out of there. There's too many lings on the way. You don't want to lose those 4. You want to kill an Overlord. And then you said, you know what? He might be doing that to damage the hatchery because he knows that he can probably kill it, just like 4GG did. But at the same time, SuperNova definitely reacting correctly and just allowing VortiX to feed into him.
Yeah.
Now, considering how much damage VortiX actually did, or I should say absorbed back there, this guy still has a shot against SuperNova.
Yeah,
I think he has to alter his opener slightly.
Exactly. I think that's what it's going to take. But if he can do that, I still give him a chance to take this home.
Yeah, he could absolutely do it. I have not actually seen a non-Korean player that looks quite like this.
Yeah, he definitely
He's
has
got this very out there style. And I believe, are you guys ready? We hand it over to you? All right, we're going to hand it over to Dan and Claris for a little bit more in-depth analysis.
Okay, guys, welcome to the analysis desk here. As well, we saw for game 1 of SuperNova VortiX there. Now, these are 2 players that I know very, very well in terms of stylistically. Yeah. And VortiX in that middle game, he was looking a little shaky. He tried to mix it up a bit there from his normal rhetoric of ZVT, but it just didn't really pan out.
There's this weird thing that VortiX does where he will do huge attacks, but still have enough drone recovery to be able to go on to the next stage of the game. So if we actually hop into the game, though, we see that this is starting to not pan out nearly as well. So at this point in the game, VortiX is just kind of trying to hold the front. He's just lost this 3rd base, and this is generally a time where you would see a Zerg rebuild. This is where we're seeing Violet rebuild in his series against Bomber. But still, VortiX just goes relentlessly for these sorts of bust-in plays, whether it's with Ling Baneling or whether it's with just pure Mutalisk here. And just losing a bit too much. Sure, he took out 2 Thors, but again, what are you really trying to go for by doing this? He just barely delayed this orbital command, and then all of a sudden, he needs to devote time to drone saturation. And now it's coming up, but it's so late. And VortiX is doing the weird thing of playing from behind a meching player. This actually almost never happens. So
it's a little weird for me because I feel that VortiX would have been better in this game number 1, just sticking with his straight-up play of only that initial wave of 8 or 9 Mutalisks. Now, he went far and above that in this game. And again, he just didn't have the longevity, didn't really control those, and he sacrificed a lot of them going into those engagements.
Yeah.
But again, as I want to echo the sentiments of Artosis, it feels as if SuperNova, opening up with that mech play, knows how VortiX is going to be playing here.
Yeah.
After seeing not only how he played against him yesterday in the group stage, but also against 4GG before.
Yeah, I think that's so significant because the exact same move was pulled by VortiX against 4GG, running in with all the Ling Mutalisk, and it flubbed in the exact same way there too. So back to you guys at the desk since the next game's starting.
Well, it looks like we are ready to go into this game. It's loading up right now. You guys excited? You having fun? And we're going to go ahead and throw the in-game screen up for you guys in a second here. There we go. So we got our Zerg player wishing his opponent good luck, have fun, and GG. Give it up for VortiX. In the bottom right, his opponent, one of the first players to finally put an end to the streak of VortiX, and I think probably playing better than everybody else here at the tournament so far. Give it up for SuperNova.
Well, you know what? If SuperNova keeps going mech, this is Ohana. This is a great map for that. It's much thinner, easier to cut in half. easier on non-mobile units. VortiX, on the other hand, it's going to be scary, man. If he tries to go Muta again, that's going to be hard. If he opens with just 2 queens, I think we might see him lose his 3rd hatchery once again. I wouldn't mind seeing him just doing like a blind counter here, going like 6 queen into Roach.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Because that would completely blind counter
it would,
what this guy's doing and
like,
whatever he's trying to do to him.
So it really would. It would be the sickest blind counter that you ever saw, man. If SuperNova continues, which, from the looks of it, there's no reason for him not to.
Well, we'll see how flexible VortiX is. He's definitely stuck with this build. He's definitely recovered when he's been damaged hard with this build, too. So we'll have to see.
Well, the drone scout once again, as well as Overlord scout on the side, really well done. He's going to find command center first. Smart build here by SuperNova, but I'm sure that drone will be able to harass a little bit.
All right, so the other SCV coming down here to cover for this one. And the drone is going to have to pull out here. Cannot take that much more damage.
Yeah, very solid micro there by the drone.
Now we have the hatchery on the way. Spawning pool started shortly afterwards. This Overlord is going to come over here. As you can see, you can check the gases. He'll probably park right around in this region. He can go into the main, or if he wants to go check the gases from there, he can do just that.
Yeah. Well, 1 gas on the way for SuperNova right now, as well as 1 Rax. So this leads me to believe that he's going to go mech again. Normally you go straight into 2 barracks after this, but he's spending those extra minerals to get a little bit earlier gas. So, yeah, that's what it's looking like.
What are your thoughts in general on mech versus Zerg?
It can be very good, but of course, when I mean, you're lacking a little bit of mobility. You have to get way more done with Blue Flame Hellions. It takes a lot longer games, so you're going to get to the late game where Zerg likes it a lot. And that Broodlord Corruptor Infestor army is pretty hard to deal with, but really isn't it no matter what units you have?
That is true. It's a pretty overwhelming, slow-moving ball of death that you have to kind of engage in a very specific way, and if you don't, you're going to lose too many units.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one thing about, when you have somebody going Broodlords against you is oftentimes you can just avoid the Broodlords and attack the main.
Yeah.
For instance, there's a lot of tricks like that. I mean, especially in PvZ. We've seen people like Hero just go around the Broodlords and blink it to the main and start killing everything.
But, with mech, it's going to be a lot harder to do that because your units are just kind of slow. Your siege tanks are not very fast, and your Thors, as we saw last game, can be caught by Broodlords occasionally.
Yeah, that is actually a very good point, Artosis. We have the Marines coming down here now and moving towards this expansion. Nice wall in, denying him any entry over here. And he did see the 3rd command center, so those Zerglings did not die in vain. They definitely got a lot of good intel.
Mm-hmm. Well, nothing really out of the ordinary for these guys right now. Sink of gas is going up for VortiX, getting that speed as well. He has stopped at 3 queens. He has stopped at 3 queens, and he's making 8 lings. Okay.
What's the plan?
It seems to me that, yeah, something is going on here. Something is afoot, Tasteless.
You think we're going to see a Baneling's Nest?
It looks like actually he's going to take his 3rd, but the 3 queen thing is really, really confusing me.
Yeah, this is really out there.
We said, he needs more queens, not less. Having 2 queens on the map is not enough to stop this hatchery from being harassed very efficiently. This might... what is this exactly? It's kind of interesting that he's changing his build in this way. It might have to do just with the fact that it's a command center first instead of, barracks command center with a slightly quicker Hellions.
Do you feel like it was worth it to get the Ling speed?
Yeah, I think you need to get Ling speed no matter what. That's just... Lings are so bad otherwise, and then, I guess you could go Roach, but you're going to want some Lings out there no matter what.
Well, the hatchery is more than halfway done. We will see if he actually decides to leave his base and attack. The Overlord is going to see everything, so no element of surprise here.
No cloak, though. He sees nothing making in that reactor, or that tech lab, so... and as soon as it died, actually, he started cloak. Ooh, that's interesting.
Oh, wow. We don't see that very often, actually.
If I'm VortiX, I don't think that cloak is coming at all. You try to get cloak right away so that you actually have it immediately with your
But do you feel like that really gives him much of an edge, considering how fast Overseers make?
You know, even if it gives him just a slight, small edge, an extra 4 drones or so is pretty worthwhile.
All right, the Hellions are continuing to move around. 6 of them now. And they're going to come in here towards this expansion. They can go behind the minerals to get extra cover from the melee attacking Zerglings.
Oh, that's a lot of Zerglings, but he is using the terrain very, very well. Wants to hurt those queens so his Banshee can actually do some damage.
Oh, and my God, full-on surround. Whoa, total victory here for VortiX.
That is for sure.
Man.
Now we do have the Banshee going into the natural right now. The Spire is about halfway done. You should be able to see the Spire if you micros this downwards just slightly. And Cloak not quite done, but he does see that Spire, and he's already killed 4 drones with it. Pretty good.
All right, so, you know, honestly, overall, SuperNova's attack, pretty ineffective.
Yeah.
In fact, basically losing money here. Now, here comes the Cloak, though. Here's a moment where he could catch up. Let's see how many kills he actually manages to get.
VortiX not even making an Overseer yet. He needs to do so, though, immediately. And he does start one up, but this Banshee getting so many kills. In fact, going after a Queen.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a mistake, actually. Okay, transfusion there. Probably a sloppy move there by SuperNova. Could have gotten a few more drone kills.
Yeah, he could have gotten a lot more drone kills, in fact. I'm kind of surprised he chose to go after that Queen. When there's 3 of them there, you're always going to have some transfuses sitting around.
Meanwhile, the Hellions came up here. And the Banshee's up here as well. Caught the start of this one. Let's see, Artos, what are the kills here?
So far, he's killed 11. 11 drones have gone down, and that number is continuing to rise. Well, we do have SuperNova going mech right now. He's getting his engineering bay for the mutas. Make a few missile turrets here and there to stop that harassment. But we don't have any Thors yet, so he's going to be a little bit immobile for a bit.
All right, as you can see here, he is powering pretty hard. So once again, SuperNova looking great. He's getting the Thors. This looks like a build that was engineered specifically to take on somebody like VortiX.
Well, it's doing a good job so far, Tasis. He's just kind of tearing them apart. Look at this.
What is the workers killed now?
The workers killed is now up to 16.
Damn.
And look at the supply, man. 100 to 115. SuperNova in the lead there.
Yeah. SuperNova, again, ahead in supply. This is huge.
Ahead in supply as a mech in the early game against Zerg.
Right. That's not how it's ever supposed to look. So, VortiX crippled here. Can he recover? He's done it before against other players, but the question is, can he do it now? Can he do it against SuperNova?
Well, his mutos are coming down. Let's see what he can get done. There's already missile turrets all over the place.
And you know what? SuperNova is completely airtight right now. The mutas have done basically no damage, and with the Thors out now, you almost have to ask if that was even the right unit to start to go for.
Yeah, and against mech, well, I like switches in and out of mutas, but really, roaches are going to give you a little bit more staying power and the possibility for things like drops, catching units off guard. Whereas the mutas, you make one little mistake, they get an extra Thor volley in there while they're clumped up, and they are all going to evaporate.
All right, he's got the 3rd base. That's going to trigger VortiX to go ahead and take the 4th. Now, do you, if you're Terran right now, if you're SuperNova, do you push at like 170 supply? Do you like wait for siege mode, for instance, to finish up here, which is on the way, and then just go out and try to attack and smash that?
You know, it's hard to say. I think he wants to hit a timing right before Greater Spire, and so just basically whatever supplies at that point, which I think he shouldn't move out until at least 180.
You know what? I think you're dead on. I think it's going to be, he's going to scan here, and the moment he sees this finished, because that means the Spire is going to start morphing. Actually, probably even if he sees this making, he'll push. Because then, you know, VortiX has to do one of 2 things. He has to stop saving up and start making attack units to try to hold this off, or he's going to have to give up this base, in which case it's going to get, you know, he's going to run over, he's going to be on 3 base versus 3 base and probably barely hold off the push.
Well, more command centers on the way for SuperNova right now, as he's just working on his economy, working on his army, getting all his great upgrades. But we do finally have some roaches being made here by VortiX. He's actually going Hive, Zergling upgrades, Roach upgrades, Baneling upgrades. He's kind of doing everything at once, and that's definitely something you can do against mech because it does take them a while to actually push out.
Creep is pushing out pretty heavily over here in the bottom right. The mutas coming back here, denying the Hellions any presence on the map. Do we have a Spire Artosis, or I mean a Greater Spire on the way yet?
No,
not just yet. So he's scanning there to take a look at that.
And just seeing that there is no Greater Spire, it would be great if he morphed it the second that scan wore out. Because then you're really not expecting when it's done. And that's what he just did. Really well done by VortiX.
SuperNova coming up here. He wants to get some drones. There are not really any drones here. He does get some Zergling kills, but overall that was a waste. And by the way, VortiX now maxed out. He actually caught up and beat SuperNova in that race.
Yes, and he certainly did. It's a lot of it's roaches, though, so he's got to be careful about that. You know, he's going to have, it looks like, 29 roaches or so. Of course, they are good and helpful against mech, but
the number of Thors here is 8. So, of course, Thor's very good against roaches.
Yeah.
Banelings not very good against Thors.
Yeah, they really have to be clumped up for those Banelings to do what you want them to do.
Occasionally, we've seen people throw down auto turrets as they see Banelings coming in, hoping the Banelings are actually going to connect with that.
Yeah, that's great when that happens.
And here we go.
Yeah, indeed. But he might actually have enough here. Look at these Mews flying in. The Banelings, a lot of them actually trapped right now, but the Roaches targeting down these Thors. There's no siege tanks to be seen, and VortiX actually killing off all of these Thors right now.
Unbelievable, man. Yeah, the Thors did not target down the Mutas. If they had all just right-clicked on the Mutas once, they could have taken them out, and then we could have gone from somewhere else. Meanwhile, inside the main, we have a big Hellion drop over here, taking out a lot of drones. Really nice job there by SuperNova. But again, it might not be enough. SuperNova suddenly behind here as VortiX just has the right unit combination for whatever SuperNova has to offer. And part of me has to ask myself, are we going to see SuperNova do this build again? It seems like VortiX is already adjusted.
It does seem like that, man. You know, we never really saw the Banshee Hellion harassment do anything because of that Lings around. And, you know, I guess that's what really turned this game into something that VortiX could end up winning. And now here he is with a lot of Lings and a lot of Roaches, pretty good upgrades overall. And SuperNova is going to take a long time to push out. He's only got 109 supply. And again, with mech, you really don't want to move until about 180.
All right, he's closing in over here. He's going to have to lip this off. The Mutas can take care of this command center, though, so he's going to have to back up again. Well, what the hell does SuperNova do now, Artosis? I really feel like, frankly, it's going to be very tough. Well, before you answer, let me give you what I think he's supposed to do. I think he's going to have to just turtle this out and burn out this Zerg-Zcon. What do you think?
Completely agree. He's got to get Vikings out. He should know that Broods are on the way, which they absolutely are, and just try to turtle it out. If he can kill off the Broods, stay alive, get back up to a max army with a good enough Viking count to actually battle Broodlords, then, all right, he'll be good to go.
All right, so as you can see, he's making a defensive perimeter around his base, these turrets. Not going to take any flack from Mutalisks. And, yeah, I think he's going to do exactly what we said. He's just going to try to hold off whatever VortiX has to throw at him. But this is going to be the first wave. The question now is, can he survive this? He's going to need a lot of turrets. Not a ton of Corruptors here, so he might be able to take this on with Vikings.
Well, we'll see what he can get done. The Banshees flying out as if they matter here. Not really, just killing Broodlings off. The Vikings doing a pretty decent job so far.
All right, and one Broodlord goes down. We're now down to 5. There's another one on the way. He needs more Corruptors, though. A nice transfusion there. And the point defense drone making the Queens utterly useless. Continuing to hit that Broodlord. Oh, but another transfusion. Beautiful.
And VortiX is pushing down just so strongly. Mostly siege tanks back here. Not really all that helpful. VortiX is going to back up.
The transfusion is so strong here for the Broodlords as he just continues to push and push and push. Back it up once again. He's starting to breach the defenses here of SuperNova. VortiX is closing in. The siege tanks, well, they may need to unsiege here. Yeah, but then if they do unsiege, the Zerglings are going to spill in like immediately.
Yeah, they absolutely are. It's going to be like a waterfall of Zerg units coming for him. But as is, his siege tanks are just all dying. SuperNova, I think, right now is just coming to terms with the fact that he has, in fact, lost this game. This does not look winnable at all.
I think this is actually over. VortiX with the best Broodlord pushes I have ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah,
completely serious, guys. I have never seen Broodlord pushes this good, beating people that are Codex quality, top 8 Codex quality. This guy kicks ass.
Yeah, VortiX is killing it, man. Did a great job that time. Didn't do exactly what he did the time before. But you know, really catching those Hellions and just minimizing the damage that opening that had kept on slapping him around all day has done. That I feel like that was one of the big keys to this game.
Wow. You can see SuperNova realizes he's going to have to use some other kind of build. VortiX is just as adaptable as SuperNova is. SuperNova
maybe.
comes in here with a specific build engineered to beat the opener that VortiX is using. It works. Game 2, VortiX turns it around and turns it upside down and just denies.
Yeah.
Sick.
I'm really impressed by these two. I want to see what they actually do for the next game. Like, will VortiX get a bunch of Zerglings to try to stop that harassment again at his third? Will he try more Queens? Will SuperNova actually switch something up to combat that? Or will we see something completely new out of either of these guys?
I have no idea. I think SuperNova will probably do something new. I don't know if VortiX is going to do it. You know, it's a best of 5, so they only have so many opportunities to try to mix it up. You know, it's funny, though. I've not seen SuperNova, generally speaking, play this well.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm talking about SuperNova, who's one of the best Terrans in the whole freaking world. Very aggressive, a solid Code S class guy in the GSL. He's playing very well at this tournament. Even in that game that he just lost, still so well.
Yeah, yeah. You know, just a few mistakes can really stack up. That's for sure. The next map will be Cloud Kingdom. This is going to be an interesting one. You know, it's got a lot of hills, so Mech will be very strong on top of those. How will VortiX actually handle that? You know, that third base still way out there and easy to harass.
Well, before we go on about that map, let's take a little bit of more in-depth analysis with Calaris and Day 9.
Thank you very much, guys. And, yeah, welcome to the Analyst Desk once again. And, you know, I mean, going into this second game, it seemed, whilst we were saying that SuperNova had figured out the style of VortiX, VortiX then comes back in game number 2 on a map that, in my opinion, isn't too well suited for Mech, for SuperNova here, as he does end up committing to that. And again, on a map where high mobility is key. And VortiX still continues to actually like produce those Mutalisks once again here to be able to really start exploiting those angles of SuperNova, and just fantastic adaptation.
Yeah, if we step in and actually take a look into the game, what's weird to me is that just looking at the supply counts, things technically should be bad news for VortiX. Just skipping ahead to the 14-minute mark, things still look like they're even worse news. SuperNova is getting farther and farther ahead, but in a sense what what VortiX is doing is he's saying, okay, well, if you're going Banshee, Hellion, Mech, these units, the Hellions and Banshees, are the only things that can really hurt me for a long time. So what do we see VortiX do? He gets every upgrade in the freaking universe. He gets absolutely everything. Hive, Pathogen Glands. Oh, how many moves did he have? Well, I guess maybe 20 or so, but again, it's all you really need to defend against these fast units. So then suddenly, out of the blue, he maxes out very rapidly and is able to strike SuperNova at a key timing right before 2-2 is done and right before tank production is really kicked in. As a meching player, you almost have to build mostly Thors right at the start, because what other option do you have? So it was really brilliant. Only Mutalisks, and then all the rest of the upgrades that he could get. And then as a result, he knew he'd be up against a Thor-heavy force when he made this push. And look at that, it's happening right before Broodlords. That was the really pretty part. Sure, this might break in and do some good damage. Well, actually, it will break in and do some good damage, almost guaranteed. It's the fact that the Broodlords were able to pop out right on the heel, and VortiX set himself up pretty cleanly.
Yeah, and just with that swell of 100 Zerglings at the end there as well, it also has a bit of connotations with, you know, once Mech's kind of been stumped in its tracks a little bit there, there's not a whole lot to be able to clean that kind of transition up when that Broodlord comes along to reinforce, so, oh well.
So the next map being Cloud Kingdom. We'll throw it back to Tastosis and see if we're going to have Mech anymore in this series.
Great work, guys. So we're in a situation now where it's 1-1. First person to 3 wins moves on. Match number 3, when you're in the rubber match, is so pivotal.
Yeah. You know, taking that 2-1 lead, then you get 2 more tries, whereas your opponent is always playing for his life from then on out. It's mentally, it's a big deal.
Absolutely. Well, countdown started, so we're going to get this going. Who do you think is going to win?
All right, Cloud Kingdom. I'm just going to keep siding with VortiX. I don't know why, but the kid has kind of won me over. What a powerful style.
Well, I mean, if he keeps this pattern up, I don't know what Terran player could beat him. He has the most perfect way to tech 2 Broodlords, and then when he does those Broodlord pushes, he always makes them work. Let's intro our players. So in the bottom left, we thought he was the underdog going into this. Then after a little while, he became the dark horse. Now I'm starting to wonder, is he the favorite to win the whole thing? Make some noise for VortiX. And in the upper right in the blue, the toughest Terran here in the Intel Extreme Masters, at least for this tournament. Give it up for SuperNova.
All right, so it's Cloud Kingdom, as we were mentioning before. Definitely going to be a fine map for SuperNova to be attacking the third base of VortiX on. It's a little bit further to walk to than some of these other maps. 4 queens off of creep. It'll take a bit. Again, I really feel like VortiX, I'd love to see him go for one of these 6 queen openings as opposed to the 4.
It's interesting that we never see him do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Zerg has his own way, but you'd think that you might mix it in a little bit if your opponent is kind of countering you well. But,
yeah.
I mean, I guess last game with the mass speedling, he was able to take out those Hellions and thus negate the damage of their harassment. It's kind of a funny thing to rely on, though.
It really is. We really don't see Zergs play like VortiX, and that's really a sign of genius if he's beating this many pros, because he's figured his own way, figured out his own way to play the game, and he's having a tremendous amount of success with that.
Mm-hmm. Another command center first here for SuperNova. VortiX, on the other hand, just going for his own straight-up hatchery first. What I'd like to see out of him if he scouts his command center quickly is double hatchery before the pool. I love it when Zergs do that against Terrans that go command center first.
Yeah, it's a really smart move to do.
Well, it looks like he just wants to get that up anyways. Didn't see the command center, so had to be a little bit safe. Makes sense.
Now the drone is going to go ahead and lead now. He has all the information that he needs. So, do you think SuperNova, just judging from the one refinery, do you think he's going to go for the Banshees again? No cloak, but... Yeah,
you know, I think he will tech up to Banshees, and I think he will definitely go mech. That's... if you're going to go bio, normally you're going to grab the 2 Raxes right away. But we'll see if VortiX changes anything up because of this, because there's going to be almost no units out for SuperNova until he really starts the Hellion production. Might get a Marine, might get 2, but I don't foresee much more than that. And in fact, he's making 8 lings, so he's realized kind of what's going on here.
VortiX, an adaptable player.
Seems so. Well,
and from here, we're just going to have to see how SuperNova actually just reacts, you know. SuperNova needs to be an adaptable player. But, I don't know, SuperNova never always strikes me as somebody who's more aggressive and micro-y than somebody who's got the master plan. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah. He doesn't plan out his entire game to the same degree as some players do. It's more, let's get in there, let's get dirty. I'm really good at everything.
Yeah, I'm really good at control. I'm good at reacting. Mm-hmm. I almost feel like SuperNova had some help with this opener. Do you know what I mean? It seems very un-SuperNova-ish. Maybe he did do it on his own. I don't know.
Well, he's been showing a lot of mech this weekend against Zerg. But I would say specifically what he did, especially in the first game, 4GG probably helped him out with. But look at this. He's actually not going to go for mech. He's actually going to reactor to Hellions and adding a couple Raxes. So this is interesting.
And what's funny is VortiX is his opener was meant for the build order from the last 2 games, not for what's going on now. So if VortiX had gone and gotten that early 3rd hatch, he would have been in his element.
Well, I am super interested to see how this actually goes down. What is SuperNova going to do? We have seen him recently in the GSL actually go for like a Hellion Marine push. That can be very powerful, but hasn't worked out for him. In fact, I think that's how he got eliminated in this last season.
Yeah, that was how he got eliminated. But his Lings, I believe, the Lings actually got him at a really good angle. You know, you can't. You always actually, you never want it when you run with Hellions. Never run them hugging a wall like this.
Yeah.
You always want them in the middle in the open so they can always turn in any direction.
Well, right now we actually have a Roach Warren on the way. Combat shields here for SuperNova. So it looks like SuperNova definitely going to hit a timing, but against Lings and Roaches, it's not the type of timing he wants to do.
Putting a few more creep tumors down here, trying to connect that over. Here come the first 3 Hellions. There should be another one around here somewhere. And nice, just a nice. Also note, oh, I guess he is going to continue to make Hellions here. And yeah, I think he actually might do that timing or Tosis. I think you're right. This attack that a SuperNova is planning on doing right now, what he wants to do is get the Marines with the combat shields in the front, and oddly enough, the Marines are there to tank the damage, while the Hellions are there to deal the damage.
And I tell you, the Marines are going to do a lot of damage as well, but of course not Splash. They help out a lot with the Queens as well, if you can target that a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you know what? SuperNova has actually kind of tricked VortiX here. VortiX is just blindly getting Spore Crawlers. So that's, I mean, he's thinking, okay, a Banshee must be coming. He's going to be awfully surprised when a bunch of Marines with combat shield walk across this map.
And when you think of how many minerals and the drone, of course, all that stuff lost for the Spore Crawler, which is basically completely useless. This one as well, and this one as well. That could have gone into Lings or Roaches or later on a Macro Hatch. All right, the timing's coming. A few Marauders in here to make sure that the Roaches don't deal too much damage.
Yeah.
Stim on the way, so by the time this rush has almost destroyed the hatchery, if it does work, Stim will be done, so you can keep pushing forward.
And in fact, there's not a lot of units out here. 2 Lings and 4 Roaches with 4 more Roaches on the way, now 5. So he's going to lose this hatchery. There's just no way for him to keep it. And losing the hatchery at this timing is VortiX's special power.
I know, man. Nobody loses their 3rd hatch more than VortiX. So as this hatch rate goes down, as you can see here, pushing it back a little bit, but even then, these Queens and Roaches just going to be taken out.
And the Roaches having a lot of damage dealt to them. The Queen's still up there as well. That single Marauder dealing a huge amount of damage. Down comes some Lings finally, and ooh, a very nice surround on the Marines and Marauders. But the Hellions roasting those Lings and allowing them to run away so that he can kite a bit.
So, mission accomplished here. This hatchery's gone, and he's going to go back and regroup. He may attack again when the hatchery finishes. That's this neat little trick you can do, especially to Zerg. When they finally have that expansion up, they're going to transfer drones. Then you go in there and attack. They have to move the drones back out. High chances you're going to get that hatchery because you were able to make more and more production facilities. And at the same time, the Zerg just wasn't. He lost 1/3 of his production.
Well, SuperNova just playing a very standard TVZ from here, going for siege mode, medevac, stim, all that good stuff. Meanwhile, making a command center for his 3rd base. And that's what VortiX has really been the best against. He's getting his Baneling Nest, he's getting his Zergling upgrades, in fact, making a lot of Zerglings right now, as well as his Spire. So the patented aggression of VortiX is going to come into play here.
So this is really cool. He is not even focused on economy right now. He actually, is he going to do a timing over here when Terran tries to take the 3rd?
He may. He can afford like 10 mutas if he wants as well, and this is about to finish up. In fact, yeah, he's going to start making a lot of mutalisks.
All right, he's moving out now. SuperNova could be in for a surprise. I don't know. This is a good idea. SuperNova doing a little bit of 4GG stuff. He may be moving too much of his army out on the map too soon.
This is what VortiX wants, and here we go, running in with a nice big stim. A lot of mutas are on the way, and here come the Roaches, forcing him to back up for now. But will he be able to escape?
He needs to get behind these minerals here.
Roaches moving forward, targeting down a lot of these Marines, and in come the mutas.
Hitting all these Marines right now. Oh my God, VortiX has done it again. He is so good at shifting gears.
That's right.
Unbelievable, man.
I tell you, the one thing that SuperNova was not expecting was that many units and mutas right thereafter.
I mean, he sacked so many drones, 46 to 66, but you know what? It totally worked.
Oh, man. We actually have Roach speed, the +1 carapace about to finish up, Banelings, Zerglings, and Baneling speed on the way. So VortiX is going into attack mode. He's not even sending drones to his 3rd base. This is important, Tasteless. This is likely to decide the game.
He might be able to take out this base over here, take out the orbital, and even push in over here. Most of the Terran's army is, in fact, up over here. There's one siege tank on the high ground right now, but that can be taken out easily with Mutas. He's just waiting for baneling speed. It'll be about 2 seconds.
And
all right. Oh, we're good. This was the. Well, we're going to need the players to pause the game, but we don't have that power right now.
Yeah. All right, here we go. He's actually attacking in. We'll tell you what's going on. I guess the roaches and banes flowing in, and the Muta's targeting down siege tanks. He's killed all the siege tanks at this point. And, well, down goes just about everything. GG. VortiX gives up.
All right, I don't know. We don't know what happened, but sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I don't know. Looks like some technical problems there. But, anyways, you guys actually didn't miss out on much. He basically did it all in there.
Yeah.
It failed. SuperNova was positioned too damn well.
Yeah.
And so SuperNova's up 2-1, Artosis.
Yeah, he is. And as we were talking about before, that's really important. SuperNova is going to feel very confident. 2 chances now to close this out.
You know, it seems like the way to beat VortiX is always to just get that third hatch and then follow it up, you know, with defense. Now, granted, SuperNova was aggressive again, and it didn't work because, you know, VortiX kind of did it. He did a sneaky move. He just made too many attacking units in the hopes that when he got attacked, he'd take it out. It worked, but from there, what he should have done is secured his third base and, you know, droned up. Instead, he decided to do like another timing attack and just run him over, and it did not work.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded actually seeing VortiX go ahead and attack up the other ramp. The siege tanks were on the high ground. They were all near the third base. Maybe if he attacks up the other way, it forces some unsieges, kind of a more messy
You
defense.
raise a great point, Artosis, because it was just a depot wall. He could have sent his Mutas over there, killed that. He doesn't even have to use banelings on that and just gone up and started hitting SCVs. The Marines are all in a mess. He can flank the Marines with the banelings if he does something like that. So probably a lot of other ways that he could have gone about doing that, but kind of a tough situation as well. So, you know what? Before we go any further, we are.
Yeah, Day 9 is going to go ahead and show the rest of the game that was missed with Polaris. So, guys.
Polaris, Day 9, take it away.
Thank you very much, guys. We are going to jump back into this game here to show you the conclusion. Yeah, we don't want anything to be missed here at the Intel Extreme Masters. So, let's jump right in.
Well, this is actually the first chance that Kilaris and I get to see what happened. Actually, Tastosis are the only ones who know the mysteries of this game. But I know the results at the very least, and I feel like the one thing that VortiX just keeps doing are these attacks that have these... He seems to be able to maneuver around it all right, but there's still these kinds of attack timings that just don't have follow-ups to them. He's still just making Lings and Roaches and Zerglings and just hoping that these attack timings will do a lot of damage.
Yeah, centrifugal hooks will finish up there, so that's a really nice timing to actually go in on. And as he comes in here, though, that's so much firepower here from the siege tanks in the back, and actually he's able to close the gap pretty nicely here against those.
But even with just, you know, nice splitting of the banelings, being able to sort of maximize the damage across the board, this is the problem with these kinds of pushes, that they just don't have this sort of good longevity. And even coming back to this 9-minute mark, I think Taslet said it best, with basically VortiX loses this third more often than any other Zerg player I've ever seen. He's lost this a lot, and with just sheer force of skill, he's able to figure out how to bounce back. But if you're losing a hatchery like 80-90% of the time when you're taking a third, just don't take the third. Just build it here. Like, you can still do the exact same thing that was going on in the rest of the game.
Yeah, because you're not like benefiting from that income, because obviously you've never really saturated it. You've not been able to get anything going at that mining base. Having a macro hatch on 2 base and then transitioning to a third is actually a pretty strong tactic in ZVT.
Yeah, so with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and hop into the next game with you, and we'll see you over at the Tastosis desk.
And we're back. All right, so that pivotal game was lost there by VortiX. And now VortiX is going to have to win the next 2 games. against SuperNova, who seems to be very adaptable.
Yeah.
He's got no problem switching his builds.
He did a good job there, and Day9 said it very well when he said, VortiX, stop losing that third hatch. Build it somewhere else if you're always going to lose it. Then you'll have another hatch. How sick would that be?
I think about it like, you said you can make it in the main, or I guess in the natural. Just get some more drones when you get your fourth, take it there. Because he wants to power, it seems like.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation. All right, we got the countdown going on here. Are you guys having fun at the Intel Extreme Masters?
Well, the next map is going to be Metropolis.
This map should make for a pretty long game.
Yeah.
It's also a very difficult map to lose your third hatchery on early on.
That's true.
Yeah.
If he actually ends up killing the third hatch on this map, I'll be a little bit surprised.
Introing our players. He's up 2-1. He's adaptable. He's playing better than basically everybody else right now. He is SuperNova. And in the only other starting location over here. Excuse me, no, it's not. In the center left starting location over here. This is not Atlanta Spaceship.
Yeah.
In the, we have our Zerg player playing solid. He's very young. Give it up for VortiX.
I make that mistake sometimes when I start watching the map. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Atlanta Spaceship. Oh, no, never mind.
I do that all the time.
All right. So Metropolis close by air spots. This could make the Banshee type style very good. Of course, medevac drops as well. But that also allows the mutas to quickly harass. I would say I would like this more from the Terran perspective. Zerg wants to be as far away as possible.
Well, looks like we could very well have another command center being thrown down here. He doesn't have an SCV to put the barracks down just yet. So command center first is going to be the strategy of choice here for SuperNova.
Well, yeah, you're looking like you're right, Tasteless, and he just keeps doing that. But it's pretty safe because even if you go for a quick pool, like a 6 pool, and bring drones, I have seen people like Marine King basically hold that. Not always, but it's like, how crazy all in is that? And what if they didn't do that? What if they did a 1-Rex expand? So command center first is like really powerful right now in this matchup.
All right, so we see, does he scout that? Well, he should know. There's no barracks here. SuperNova not as common for him to put the barracks outside of his main. It's more of an MVP thing.
Indeed, and if he had kept going with the Overlord and there was no command center there, maybe a Marine pops out and kills the Overlord, in which case he's in a lot of trouble.
All right, so when does VortiX take the third hatchery? In his defense, as you can see here, this base is pretty far away from the starting location of this barracks. That's a long distance to travel. Then you got to consider the fact that there's destructible debris here. So if he does get attacked here, the Queen is going to have to walk all the way down here, which could be pretty bad news.
Yeah. I want to point out that really quick gas has been taken this game by VortiX. This is definitely quicker gas than we've seen in the other games so far. So is this going to be just for speed, or are we going to see him mix it up and maybe do an all-in?
Could be. I don't know what I would do right now if I was VortiX. When you're behind in the sequencing of these games, you lose the first one, adapt with the next one, then you adapt, you lose the next one. You got to come up with something pretty drastic.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how on earth SuperNova is going to try to play this game. It looks like it could be a Mac opening.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing we've been basically seeing out of him. Obviously the Hellions, that's always going to occur. Most likely the Banshees as well. Well, his SCV actually scouted how quickly that gas was taken, but he did pull all the drones off the gas. So that's something that's pretty important to point out. He's not looking to all in. He's looking to have just a speed out so that he can actually do things like trap the Hellions and kill them off.
And this SCV will finally go down here. So, let's just say he goes Mac Artosis. Let's do a little bit of theory crafting. Is he going to be okay?
Well,
because this is a big map. It's a freaking huge map.
That's true.
Mac is a little bit better on tighter maps.
Luckily, we don't have to even theory craft anymore because he just made 2 Raxes. So, I guess he's just not going to go for the mech here, deciding instead that, this is a pretty good scenario to go for Marines, especially considering once he gets medevacs, the main is just so easily droppable.
All right, the Hellions coming out here now. And, yeah, I mean, only time can tell. Do you think he's going to do that timing, actually? Let's theorize a little bit more. Is he going to do a similar timing to the last game? Just going to go in there and say, all right,
well,
Marines,
no.
buffer for me. Let's get this third hatch. This guy's greedy. It's almost impossible at this point in time, if Korea does a timing to VortiX, for him to not lose the third hatch.
Well, he's actually getting stim this time. So with the stim, that timing is kind of not there anymore. You really want combat shields if you're going to attack like that. So I guess he's deciding, giving VortiX the benefit of the doubt that on this map, after this many times, that third base, not likely to fall.
All right, as you can see here, he never saw the 2 barracks over here, so he could still think that Banshees are coming. We saw him overreact by making Spore Crawlers. Now, the Evolution Chambers are almost done, so there's a high chance, actually, that you know, he might make some Spore Crawlers, and if there's any kind of attack over here, and their Spore Crawlers are basically useless, obviously against ground units unless you're cloaked, that could be bad.
All right, so pretty good creep spread so far. Hellions denying one of these tumors at least. And a lot of Marines and Marauders being made. We actually, okay, so now we're starting to see what's going on. There's still no starport, so he's actually still doing a timing, a Marine Marauder stim timing, as opposed to just a Marine combat shield timing. So he's going to want to keep these Hellions alive no matter what. They're so crucial to this, to clean up the Zerglings.
All right, so when this, actually he might be moving out in a second here.
Yeah, he should be leaving his base really soon.
Almost,
maybe as these next two Marauders
right
pop.
now.
I think he's just, as soon as these two Marauders pop, we should see him move out.
Yeah, they're going to start moving when this Marauder comes out.
Hold on. There's one more.
There's one more.
There he is.
And the time to attack, wait for it. Yes, it is.
And there you go. So he is making his way across the map, getting those concussive shells that upgrade so quickly.
He did get spotted on the way over there.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He's just gunned down a Ling. So,
well, a lot of Banes on the way. He's going to have to deal with this with just Lings and Banes.
What you want to do is use the Marauders to be hit by the Banelings. So, this is kind of scary. He's closing in here. He sees the Banelings.
Oh, this is intense. The Banelings trying to connect with whatever they can, and they actually don't do that good of a job.
God, this is
nice
so bad for
stim
VortiX.
here. Yeah, it really is. A lot of Hellions left alive, a lot of Marauders as well. Those Queens going to have to run away for now, making 22 more Lings, but is that going to be enough? Coming up from behind with more Zerglings, but the Hellions, their numbers are staying very high.
All right, he gets the Evolution Chamber. He's avoiding the Broodlings. He's got this one Hellion over here that's doing a great job. The reinforcements come in. They are surrounded, though, the main army here. Now, he needs to get in there. He needs to do more damage than this. Gets the Queen. And will he get the second Queen as well? It looks like, indeed, he will.
And this might just be it, Tasteless. There's just nothing left. Some more Lings on the way, but SuperNova has more than enough units right now. The Spire is not even halfway done.
Even a bad rally point here from this base. Watch the Lings section just moving out here past this.
Oh, so painful. Losing even more units as they do pop out. He's even making another Queen at this point to try to help out.
Denying the Spire.
Dude, I think that we might be seeing GG pretty quickly here.
All right, he's going to go hug this corner. The Hellion's doing too much damage here to the Lings.
And SuperNova, you know, he was denied last year of an IEM championship, but he's looking so strong this time. I think this tournament might just be his.
I know. He's going to try to remake the Spire over here. I guess confident that he can hold his position. Now, that was a really good strategy by the Lings.
Yeah, that was really nice. And in fact, the Ling's doing a good job. 20 more on the way. You know, he might end up fighting this off, but what does he do from here? SuperNova hasn't really been hurt yet.
Yeah, that's true. Nice. Okay, you know what? He holds this.
All right, but
had they not been trapped here at the hatchery,
we have to look at the damage done. He's been building Lings for days.
As we do that, Artosis, if you guys can see, I don't know why I'm trying to zoom in to show you this. I'm too fancy. He just had two Spires be made at the same time, so you can see VortiX messing up a little bit.
Yeah, I was actually excited about the two Spires. I was going to be like, oh my god, he's going to go just pure Muta and get a lot of upgrades because there's been so many Marauders and Hellions made. There shouldn't be a lot of Marines, but that's not the case, Tasteless. You just made a mistake. You know,
all right.
So let's talk for a minute about the damage actually done there, right? He killed the Evolution Chambers. Did he finish the armor upgrade? Yeah, he got the armor upgrade for the Zerglings, but he killed the melee before it was done. He killed a ton of Queens, forced VortiX into just countless Zerglings and just slaughtered them for days. I mean, I feel like right now SuperNova has to be feeling really good.
All right, well, it looks like from here, SuperNova is going to take a third base and just go for your standard Marine siege tank with medevacs. He's got a 1-1 on the way. Now, remember, during that attack, the evolution chambers are placed here and here were taken out. They're just now finishing, so the upgrade should start any second now. But the problem is that he's going to get his 1-1 vortexes by the time the attack and armor 1-1 for SuperNova, or the 2-2 are already finishing. So VortiX is going to be playing from a very bad position.
Well, Baneling's speed on the way. A lot of mutas already up, but those mutas are going to go and meet a ton of missile turrets. There's actually a ring around his base, as we see here, and in they come. Going to be so painful.
The mutas now being thrown out. A lot of damage being dealt here. And as you can see, the mutas are just going to run out.
Oh, okay. So you guys have been looking at the same thing over and over because they are taking my feed now. So I will do the observing. Thank you, Day 9. And so we do see the mutas flying across the map. Will he be able to get any damage done with these?
I don't know. We're going to have to see. And again, just so you guys know, we've switched the feed here. Artosis is now observing. We're using the preview computer.
And, well, stimming, chasing all of these away.
And the mutas now being forced back here. Although, look at the supply here for a second. VortiX, once again, evening up here with SuperNova. He should shoot past him. I don't know why is there queens moving out here like this, Artosis?
Oh my God! Why are those queens moving?
Now they're turning around.
Yeah, this is.
It was just like the biggest mistake yet of the whole.
You know what?
Series. He's just got 5 queens in the middle of the map.
Oh, lucky for him, he actually still has a queen at each of his bases. So while this wasn't good, it wasn't like a oh my God, I have no injects. So that's nice at least. Well, he is picking off a few siege tanks here and there. VortiX is taking a 4th base. His creep push is all right. It's going to get a lot better, though, as these queens actually do get back.
Well, that was scary.
Oh, Jesus. We have a drop going on.
And it's doing a lot of damage over here. He picks up at the last second. Mutas flying back. He needs to do a little bit more damage. Maybe he could get the Spire or a few extra drones.
He wants to get anything he can because this medevac will be taken out as the mutas do catch up finally. VortiX right now getting his hive, making a lot of lings and getting infestor upgrades, but his supply is way behind.
All right, look at the supply. Yeah, as you said, VortiX at 152. Does the SuperNova just push when he's maxed out, or what? I mean, this is a weird map.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those maps where if you push, you got to go to the Zerg's main base.
Normally, you know, this is something that we talk about a lot, Tasis. When you get ahead in the early game against Zerg, to just do like a 2-2 timing attack, it's really hard for Zerg to hold on there because by the time you have 2-2 as Terran, you're getting near max out. This game, you absolutely will be maxed out. But your upgrades are going to be ahead for sure, and you're just going to have a very fearsome army.
All right, the 4th base now being taken. If he doesn't attack, he's probably going to make a bunch of orbitals. He might even try to turtle it out. But I don't feel like this is one of those maps where it's best to turtle it out, you know?
You know, we've seen some interesting games that look like that, like Cass versus ST this weekend. But yeah, that's not SuperNova style, you know? He's definitely going to push out. And in fact, I love the time he's doing it. By the time he gets down there, the 2-2 should be just about finished up.
All right, the 5th base that was on the way will be forced to cancel at the last second. Picking up again.
And here he goes. He's coming down to the front of the creep. In the meantime, dropping in the main base and going after the spawning pool. Also dropping at the 4th of VortiX, doing a great job scanning, getting rid of creep. SuperNova is all over the map right now.
SuperNova pushing in here, taking out the creep tumors, taking a little bit of an unorthodox path here, gunning down all these queens. Only one gets away. Now this, remember, with the siege tanks in siege mode, oh, I like this, by the way. The siege tanks in siege mode, it's going to be very tough for the Banelings to actually approach.
Yeah, that's a lot of them. And here we go. He's just going forward with absolutely everything. He has a lot of infestors here. Nice fungal growth going down, but a lot of Banelings actually connecting with the tanks. It looks like VortiX will be able to clean this up.
Yeah, I guess so, but there are some reinforcements coming in here. Up at the top, it looks like he's going to take out those lings. But more Marines and siege tanks are on the way over here.
Uh-oh, a lot of these mutas actually are falling down. The Ling's coming out to help, though, and SuperNova may have overextended on this creep. The Zergling's catching up to everything, and he's going to lose these tanks and Marines.
And it looks like we're back onto my screen, so I'm back to observing now. Taking out that medevac there. I don't know, man. I think once he lost that push, he should have turned around. He had that small number of units that he continued to push forward with. And now landing the command center over here in this location. Looks like that's actually a little bit mispositioned. SuperNova getting a little bit shaken up, probably thought he had this game.
Yeah, that's a funny place to put that command center down. Well, you know, right now, this is getting a little bit crazy. SuperNova had a nice lead, but VortiX, with his just great Lingbane Muta play, has crushed an army and is now going into Ultras.
All right, well, he's going to have to turtle up now. VortiX might have a timing to hit this base over here. That's exactly why SuperNova's we got a planetary over here. And the Muta's coming in here now. They're going to take out this, no, they're not. I was going to say they're going to take out that turret before it finishes. Now the Muta's backing up. Going to the watchtower over here. This is just a tough position here for SuperNova.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's funny because there's a point in time where he almost
looked so
won
good.
the fight over here and then won the game.
Yeah, he was like ahead in supply, ahead in upgrades. He had a very nice army, but you know, VortiX, he had good creep spread. He came in with some nice engagements and was able to clean that up. And now, I mean, he's looking like he is ahead, and he's ready to maybe tie the series up.
And now we got you know, a little bit more movement here from VortiX. And here's, I don't know if actually SuperNova can hold this. That push is pretty scary. This attack up here from VortiX, even scarier, actually. He's going to try to probably take out these Marines on the island here before they can actually do too much more damage. Oh my God, he just grazed by it. He didn't actually see it. Meanwhile, a drop over here will deny the 5th yet again.
Wow, that 5th has just been denied so many times at this point. And in fact, the whole army is going down to try to stop this. Of course, they will not be there in time. SuperNova's going to be able to pick up from there. We also have a drop going to the main.
Coming in here, he can get this spawning pool. It's pretty low already, and that would be a really smart move. I love it. But unfortunately for him, the Mutas are already over here, transfusing on the Mutas. And he doesn't actually lose a single, well, he should have not lost a single Muta, but he moved that too quickly. Dropping again. SuperNova is just buying time, and it worked. He's now maxed out. He can defend potentially this attack coming up here, but we'll have to see.
The 5th base just got killed off again, Tasteless, but VortiX, he has a couple infestors up there. He's brought over his Mutas and will finally clean up this harassment dropship. But SuperNova already is going to send another one down there.
All right, the Ultras gathering up here. They're just outside of the sensor tower. Now coming in, and they're going to spill in here. I don't know, dude. I don't actually know if SuperNova is going to hold on here.
Well, he's got a lot of Marauders and Siege Tanks mixed in. The Banelings all going down. And can he micro well enough against this many Ultras? A couple infestors coming up, throwing down a lot of infested Terrans as the Ultras just crush through everything. But SuperNova's done a pretty good job reducing at least the amount of units here.
We got 40 more Lings on the way. So he's opened up this Terran's main defense here, taking out the sensor tower. Now he should avoid the planetary, at least for now.
Well, does he want to try to kill it? No, he does not. He is going to run away, in fact.
Looks like he's going to have to defend from this drop over here. Now, after he holds off this drop, I think the question is, can SuperNova build up the defenses again to hold his position? Otherwise, I think VortiX is just going to come in there and wipe him out.
Well, dude, VortiX at this point, he's switching back into Broodlords. He's making 8 Corruptors right now. And by doing that, that's going to mess up SuperNova, because SuperNova is preparing not for Broodlords, but for more Ultralisks. He's making a lot of Marauders, not as many Marines, not many Vikings or anything like that.
All right, looks like we may have to switch to, is this my computer? All right, we're on my computer again. So anyways, Medevac coming down here now, and he's going to, once again, deflect this, but it's keeping the Zerg at home. Meanwhile, SuperNova, as you can see, he's getting that defense set up. It's a little bit scrappy right now, even though he's at 177 supply, but for what he's going up against with VortiX, you know, it's going to be tough to hold.
Well, SuperNova just continues to drop all over the map. I mean, he is everywhere, but VortiX is holding on, not letting it really do any damage to him. SuperNova has taken his 4th base, of course, we knew that, but his 5th base is finally up and mining, dropping mules there. and he's switching into some Ravens and even getting Seeker Missile.
All right, moving over here with those Lings. A little bit of sloppiness here. Oh no, you know, that's not sloppiness. He actually wants to free up some supply and kill off some SCVs. So he's just coming in here. He's going to do some damage, take out these mules, whatever it takes to give him a little bit of a lead. And I think what he's making 4 more Corruptors, so he wants to have this Broodlord Death Ball. And I do say, Artosis, I believe he has achieved that.
I believe he has, Tasteless. This is a ton. 13 Broodlords, even has Infestors and Ultras underneath. A lot of Corruptors on the way to help out as well. And SuperNova's army is like just kind of a bunch of random units here. Does he actually have enough with only 7 Vikings?
This guy is the best Broodlord pusher in the world, man. This is insane. All right, let's see. SuperNova, can you hang on?
Well, here we go. He does have Seeker Missile almost done. If he can get one of those off on the Corruptors, maybe he can hold and kill the Broodlords, but too much damage is being dealt right now. Look at these Broodlords just absolutely crushing through. VortiX coming back from the brink of annihilation is somehow killing SuperNova.
VortiX back from the grave. He keeps on pushing forward. The Corruptors keep coming in here. Okay, I do see a few Vikings, excuse me. But is it enough? He's continuing to make Vikings. Corruptors pushing him back. The Thor's hitting the Corruptors. Transfusions everywhere. Insanity here. He's getting closer and closer to getting to this part of the Terran's base, which is where all the production facilities are.
That's right, and look at this. So many Broodlords left over. He still has 13 here.
Oh my God. Bungle here on the Vikings.
Oh,
a lot of them going down.
But he doesn't have many Corruptors right now. Just 3 Corruptors left. Can he somehow, with these extra Vikings coming out, push these back? Not so sure, because the Queens are here to help as anti-air.
All right, the Broodlord's just coming in here doing so much damage. I think he's done it, guys.
I think he may be bringing this to a Game 5, and I couldn't be happier.
I know. I'm loving watching these two play. Our 100 in supply Terran might have to tap out here, as the Broodlords are going to wreck everything that makes, you know, the Marines, Hellions, all your barracks factories basically being destroyed here. This is a mess, taking out depots.
That's right. Look at this,
oh
man.
My God.
He's even going to take out the reactor on the starport in just a second, so that Vikings cannot even be made as quickly anymore. And there's just not much left for SuperNova. He's just making Vikings anywhere he can, but even if he does that, he doesn't have enough production to make anything else to stop even Zerglings coming in.
VortiX is insane, man. Can this kid actually be stopped? I don't know. This Supreme late game is absolutely up. The hook is so good. Now this planetary does go down, and we should see GG here any second.
SuperNova is going to have to GG.
So, I don't know, Artosis, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that I can't wait for game number 5.
Yeah, seriously amazing stuff here. I feel like SuperNova probably just going over this game in his head right now, since it's very obvious there's no way that he can recover. Yeah, probably saying, what exactly did I do wrong? Because
you even see him mumbling to himself here. I mean, he is a little bit confused for sure.
Yeah, and he probably asking himself, well, what build do I do in the next game? You know, if we go to the end game here, I'm not as likely to actually win this.
Yeah. Well, VortiX just finishing off all of his buildings. The Ultralisks and Broodlords running all over the place. And the SuperNova just does not want to give up at all. He just keeps making Vikings, hoping that somehow he can stop him. But VortiX has 2 fully mining bases, so these Vikings, of course, never going to work.
Yeah. All right, well, this game is absolutely completely done. We don't even really need to play-by-play it anymore. GG.
GG. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. VortiX coming back and bringing this series to game number 5.
Going all the way across the largest map in StarCraft 2. Well, I guess that we have this in this tournament at least. And then doing so much damage. I mean, sort of a slow push here. It's a really long distance to go. He had the Broodlords, he had the Ultralisks, he had everything. The Queen's there to transfuse. I have not seen Broodlord pushes like this, where you get a Korean pro, a top 8 GSL Codes player, and he's always top 8, generally speaking. He can't even stop it.
No.
And this is after SuperNova does a rush that cripples him, so it should be even more difficult than a normal game for VortiX to come back, and he's doing it, man.
Yeah. Well, we will see. I'm excited to see what the last map is going to be.
And it looks like it's going to be Antigua Shipyard, actually.
Ooh, Antigua Shipyard. This one's going to be a little bit tough. hard for Zerg to get that 4th base.
Yep, if this is the greatest challenge yet here for our Zerg player VortiX, this is going to be the map. If I'm SuperNova, I'm just going to sit. I'm going to wait it out until we're in late game. Even though VortiX is very good at Broodlord pushing late game, 4th base, tough to get.
If you lose too many units, VortiX just starts attacking you and doesn't stop. That's pretty rough. And then if you don't attack him for too long, he makes a bunch of Broodlords. Pretty good strategy combo.
Pretty good stuff. Looks like we are going to. Looks like the players want to take a quick little break. So we'll just keep talking. What opener does SuperNova use?
Okay, Antigua Shipyard, I think he does very standard. He goes like Hellion, does a little bit of harassment, maybe gets some Banshees out. You know, the creep spread isn't so good of VortiX a lot of times in the early game. If he only makes 4 queens, it's going to be hard to defend that 3rd base from Banshee harassment. So I think he opens with that.
We'll have to see. Do you think that he could try to turtle it out for the late game?
Well, you know, turtling into taking the center would be great. That would be really, really nice for SuperNova, because once you take that center, Zerg just can't get a 4th base. They're stuck in there. You can move anywhere very quickly. You have this unlock a watchtower, the high ground. I mean, that's a painful place to be at.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to win this. I really genuinely don't. These guys are so evenly matched. Man. Think so?
Yeah, well,
there's something almost like mystifying about the way he's playing, the way he actually wins.
Well, let's go ahead and throw it over to Day 9 and Polaris and see what their take on what's going on is.
Thank you very much, guys. This series, Day 9, has just become something for the ages. VortiX somehow manages to go past all of this aggression that SuperNova is showing early on, and I can't even contemplate how the thought process is going into the later stages of these games for VortiX.
You know, let's hop into the game and look at this weird thing that seems to happen in every single match that VortiX is in. We see this push coming in where it's a whatever push. It happens every single game, in every circumstance. It doesn't matter if it's Hellion, Banshee, Marine Hellion. There always seems to be this attack that comes, and VortiX is never prepared for it, ever.
And it's happened literally in every game here against SuperNova. Something dies off, some big kind of damage is done, be it in around this 9 or 10 minute mark. It's either a hatchery going down, or it's either so much lava being fueled into units that he's not being able to drone up, etc., etc. And SuperNova, I mean, most Zergs in this position end up just dying. SuperNova here is hitting those timings that he knows best, because this is a timing that is very, very common in this matchup.
Well, this is actually the #1 attack timing in this matchup, 9 to 10 minutes. Like, every game has something like this, and the fact that VortiX is so underprepared every time for it blows my mind. So right now he's way far behind, and to SuperNova's credit, SuperNova is already preparing his next step way down the road. He's already finishing up his 3rd command center. He's already getting these plus upgrades. The only thing you could maybe say, I might want to see some tanks. That's perhaps the only criticism you could make, but even then it looks great in his base. But if we step ahead to the 14-minute mark, I think this is where we really start to see what makes VortiX's play cool. In recovery, he actually hasn't really built any drones. First, he makes these banelings, and then lots of mutalisks. And ordinarily, this would be disastrous for the Zerg player. But the fact is, this map is just so huge that VortiX continues to just lock things out. He's building tons of drones. He actually starts building like 17 drones at a time, and uses all these forces to lock everything out. In other games, when his opponent isn't attacking, VortiX just attacks back. And then as we step here to, I think this is the key point in the game right before this battle happens. Without even watching the battle, it's amazing that VortiX has wiggled his way back to a really nice setup where he has his 8 infestors out. It was the perfect delay.
Well,
and now...
Sorry, he has these timings where, I mean, going through from the 10-minute mark to the 20-minute mark, VortiX knows when to apply pressure with his lava, I'm going to say. He knows when to be able to find the little holes in the Terran at the front to be able to actually produce those units, and then behind that drone up.
Yeah.
It's specifically between this 10-20 minute mark that he does this. During the first 10-minute mark, it's very, very normal, very, very standard from VortiX's side of things. But where he differs from other Zerg players at this point, it really is in that allocation.
Well, I mean, as we join the next map on Antigua Shipyard, I do have concerns for VortiX in this spot because he had a lot of fortune in that it's big distances on Metropolis, so he had a lot of time to prepare. The drops weren't really able to do as much damage because it wasn't too late into the game. So unless VortiX has a big adjustment that actually allows him to hold off that extremely common timing push, then he's doomed.
Maybe indeed, maybe. So let's kick it back over to Tastosis, and we'll get into game number 5.
Yay, we're back. We're ready for game number 5. I'm so excited. This is going to be so sick.
Yeah.
Because I actually don't know who's going to win. Normally I have like a rough idea. I'm like, I don't know. This guy seems to be the favorite.
After game number 1, it really looked like SuperNova was just going to crush him, clean him out, 3-0, something like that. But turns out we're in game number 5.
Oh, man. Antigua Shipyard, what a way to end this. A really big challenge for a Zerg player. And let me hit my little buttons on my keyboard and get the tabs up, and then we'll intro these players. In the upper right, cross spots over here. Make some noise for the Terran legend, SuperNova. And in the bottom left starting location, we have our Zerg player. So solid. I am completely inspired. I hope this guy moves to Korea someday and plays in the GSL. He is VortiX.
All right, so Antigua Shipyard, Tasteless. I mean, we've talked about this map a bajillion times. If you watched StarCraft before and you've seen us cast this map, we've been over how difficult it is to take a 4th base. But VortiX is a guy that doesn't really need a 4th base. How many times does he actually have the 4th base win? Well, some of them, but a lot of them, he was just on 3 base.
Through early game, he doesn't need a 3rd base either, Artosis.
Yeah, that's true. Helps to lose it, in fact.
Yeah, it's
that
bad
extra
luck.
damage done by those by the broodlings.
Yes.
I mean, maybe he calculates that in.
I don't know. Some kind of crazy hatch strat, Artosis, where he makes that hatchery, knowing it will be killing those additional broodling damage that is dished out. Will allow him to get ahead somehow.
Well, that's pretty tricky, man. Maybe he should just rush up to layer, drop some Overlord creep, build a bunch of E-bays near his opponent, and then turn off the Overlord creep.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Wait for those things to bleed out and go get him with the broodlings.
All right. The drone's coming up here. Nobody's taking a risk in this game. These guys are so evenly matched, producing some really awesome TVZs, especially in the late game.
Yeah. Now, he does see just how quickly this command center first has come up. Throws on the pool anyways, just wants to stay very comfortable with his build, which is normally the best choice. I mean, you don't want to just switch up and do something new, even though I'm sure in his head he knows that he could go double hatchery before pool. Why? You know, he hasn't practiced it. Let's just keep to what he knows.
You know, here's what I'm wondering, Artosis. Tell me if you think I'm crazy. Because...
I think you're crazy,
okay,
but go ahead.
Because, you know, late game of VortiX is so good with the Broodlords. Do you think there's a chance SuperNova will try to end this before late game? Even though positionally it does favor Terran.
You know what? I feel like on this map, no. On a lot of other maps, maybe, but on this map, I really feel like he wants to go to that late game and abuse the fact that VortiX can't get those extra bases.
All right. We will have to see. I would not be shocked, though, if we do see another timing attack here from SuperNova. It's insane how much damage you can do to VortiX. I'm under the impression he does this so much. He's so comfortable defending with such little.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, very standard for SuperNova, going straight into the factory, skipping that double barracks that we always see after command center first. And will he go for Banshee this time? I feel like this is a great map for it because the main base in the 3rd is so far away to walk. But for a Banshee, they fly Tasteless. And as the Banshee flies, it's not that far.
No, it's not, Artosis. Now, we've seen so many drones here early on from VortiX. In fact, this time around, actually, as the 3rd base finishes, let's actually do a check and see how many drones he actually has, assuming he gets one of that quick 3rd base. I'm a little bit intrigued by this.
Another interesting thing that's happening here, he got his gas a lot later than that last game. He got really, really quick speed that last game. This game, a more normal gas timing for him.
And the barracks, or excuse me, factory now is going to go over here, make some more Hellions. And 2 more barracks, okay. Now, do you think we could see a timing, Artosis?
We might. SuperNova is really fond of them. We see him do it quite often. And in fact, I'd say, yeah, you know what? I think he is going to. But I don't think it'll be all in like last game. That wasn't really too all in. He had to do some damage or he would have been really in trouble, but it was pretty solid overall. You know, he had a backup plan too. He had the E-base making, things like that.
All right, the Hellions are coming down here now. And, well, we're just going to have to wait and see. Stim is on the way. We could have the same timing as the previous game.
Yeah, it's beginning to look like it.
I do think architecturally, this base much easier to kill than the third or the second on Atlanta spaceship. Because when you look at it, he actually did a lot of damage, guys. He took out the evolution chambers. He got in there pretty deep. And that's on an insanely large map where the second base was so tucked away. I mean, that would be like him trying to rush this base.
Yeah. And
all he needs to do is kill this one.
That's so true, Tasis. And don't forget that when he's attacking the third base on Metropolis, he's on the low ground. Whereas if he attacks it here, he's on the high ground. And that just gives him an innate advantage.
Yeah.
He's starting to harass that a little bit, at least.
Link speed is done. He's got to be careful. Especially not to hug the walls here with the Hellions. That's exactly how they always die. And
oh my God, he's actually going to run past, but the speed finishes, and SuperNova might be in a little bit of trouble because of this, losing some Hellions. How many will he lose? 2 of them already going down. Nice moves by VortiX. SuperNova actually overextending.
All right, he's going to make another command center. Okay.
Whoa.
So he's actually going to go straight up, just standard bread and butter TVP. Or TVP. What?
SuperNova canceled his stim before it finished, and now he's restarted it.
Oh my God, I did not even know that.
Well, that's bad news right there. If he had stim already with these medevacs coming out and Hellions on the map, then he might be able to move around and do something, but he has no chance to truly attack now. VortiX is not going to lose that third hatch. In fact, I can't really see harassment damage doing much to him at all in this early game, which means that he's going to get into just the spot he wants to be in.
And you know what this means is that VortiX is going to be in his element. This is going to be the hardest moment to possibly stop VortiX in, when his third hatch is not destroyed.
Yeah, so SuperNova just has to go into pure macro mode. He's already started his third command center, and he is bringing the Marines over, but this stim nowhere near done.
All right, he's going to do a drop, but again, as Artosis said, stim is nowhere near done. So it's not like it'll be as efficient as it normally would be. All right, let's see. He wants to do a little bit of damage. He needs to do something because VortiX is going to be growing too quickly.
That is right. Drop in here behind the smoke. The Ling's coming in. He does have creep everywhere.
No
I love
losses.
that, by the way, that he puts creep everywhere.
Yeah, it's so smart.
Even in his main base.
Hellions now clean up some of the creep tumors over here. He doesn't want to have him push creep too far up to this location, especially not up here.
Well, right now, VortiX just has to be careful about these medevacs. Stim is still not done. Not going to be done for a bit, but when it is, these are going to be much scarier.
Scanning, taking out some of these creep tumors, anything to do some damage. He doesn't want to make too many more drones. He's already got, let's see here, 58 drones to 52 SCVs. Wow.
Yeah. We do have the Spire and Baneling speed on the way, so VortiX is getting in that unit composition that he's so good with, that he likes so much. In fact, adding some more gases, making Lings instead of drones right now. Some of that might just be fear because of the double medevac that's been flying around.
I'm really curious to see if this build by SuperNova is going to work. These guys have been playing off each other's strats so well. It's actually been such an amazing best of 5 to cast.
Yeah, I mean, we've had so many good ones this weekend as well, Tasis, and this one might be taking the cake for me right now.
Yeah, no kidding, man. The Ling's fanning out now. Looks like you might want to try to get surround here on these Hellions. And looks like he will get it.
Might get some of them, but the Marines come up, so he does have to run away. That was not quite as effective as he wanted. By the way, 13 mutas on the way.
Wow.
No, this is pretty awesome.
This
the Baneling speed is going too. Is he going to continue to make units? Is he going to try some sort of bust?
Nice little drop over here. But the mutas are out, so this drop is going to have to come to an end. He will be able to take out the medevac. No problem here.
Yeah.
And that is where every time SuperNova sends out his army, or excuse me, like a medevac drop like this, it's only to keep the mutas flying back home and defending and not attacking the base over here. Now, I don't know if this is a good idea because he does have fairly adequate defense here. A few turrets.
Yeah, he's got a good ring basically up to deter mutas, but they're going to go ahead and attack part of this ring, pulling a muta back and barely saving its life at 1 hit point, going after SCVs now as well.
Hitting the SCVs so hard here, denying this turret. And Marines coming up here to try to save the day. And he does get out. Excuse me, that turret was not denied. By the way, it's 122 supply to 133. Another drop over here. He can get the queen.
Uh-oh, this is a good drop by SuperNova. The muta's way out of position. They are flying back. He's going to take out that queen, and now he's going after the infestation pit. And at least he started the hive, but it looks like he got it. Really well done there by SuperNova. And now he's actually got a supply lead as well.
All right, 2 refineries on the way here. And another factory coming down. 138 to 130. SuperNova starting to catch up. He's looking pretty good. His 1-1 Marines are going to be 2-2 in about a minute here. 4th base is being taken. Note of VortiX respecting SuperNova not taking this base over here, saying, I don't know, his pushes are pretty good.
Oh, of course, that would be so hard to hold. But, you know, at least he is put creep up towards his new 4th base. Can he hold on to it? The reason he destroyed those rocks is so that he could actually get up there a little bit quicker to help against any attacks on it.
He's coming in here now and smartly backs off. A turret like this, you can repair that so easily. Oh, SuperNova needs to stop doing these drops. It's actually it's not necessary. Yeah.
Now, if he had happened to get that hatchery, it would have been very nice, but the more that you miss these drops, the further caught up VortiX is going to become. Now, we do finally have infestors on the way after killing that infestation pit. The pathogen glands near completed, and Ultraless Cavern coming as well. 2-2 finishing up. For SuperNova, as far as upgrades go right now, he does have 2-2 as well, but hasn't started 3-3.
All right, dropping over here, waiting for that moment. He probably wants to wait until he sees the mutas, then he'll pick up over here and move these. Let's see if that's actually the case. He's staying just outside of range of the sensor tower. So he sees this expansion, and now it's time, guys. SuperNova is gonna push.
All right, he's gonna have to take this center area. The creep being up here, really a great move, making him use multiple scans to even take the high ground.
But and if you notice, he's actually being very careful as he approaches here. He knows what happened last time. Okay, he just wants to put his 4th base over here. He's going to make this into a planetary, and he's going to use this, the ownership of this location to try to sneak Marines over here and take this out. It looks like.
You might be right about that, Taces. Now, VortiX has a pretty solid economy. Of course, SuperNova does as well, but oh my God, he's got to be so careful here.
All right, as you can see, VortiX now realizes the center of the map, like a game in chess, so important. Now owned by SuperNova, he's going to have to move his pieces pretty wisely on the board if he wants to do any damage. The planetary's almost done. He may want to wait until the planetary actually finishes. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to set up, probably scanning here, getting rid of the creep. He doesn't want to let him see the movement when he's coming out here. Nice fungal.
Yeah, he's backing up. Some of these Marines. Every time he can do something like that, it's a small victory. They're both maxed out at this point. 3-3 on the way, only for VortiX. So SuperNova is actually skipping that. You know, he doesn't really have a lot of gas to spend anyways.
All right, here come the Ultras, the Infestors, the Mutas, moving up. All right, but he should end up backing off here.
Oh, that was a nice tank.
He may try to go around, and he will.
Uh-oh, the siege tanks are out of position right now. He does have a few that he's sieging up. And here we go to the side. The Ultra's leading the path, and the siege tanks doing a lot of damage. Baneling's actually hitting siege tanks and being shot down. That was not at all an effective attack.
Wow, he completely deflected it. He did what we predicted, Urtosis, that he might do, that he would wait out until the late game, and then the Zerg wouldn't be able to do much with this center expansion. Instantly, he unsieges and sends everything over here. He says, I have to get rid of this base. This is the entire game plan. This is what I've been setting up for all along.
Oh, man, and his Muta's being taken out as well. There's not a lot of units left here for VortiX. He's down by 40 supply. It looks like that 4th base may be taken down. And what can he actually do at this point? His Infestors are mostly gone, his Ultras are mostly gone, and so are his Mutas.
Oh, man, this is so tough. because the only other fourth base that he could have up and running is this one in the bottom center. And this base sucks against air because he just pushes it so easily.
That is very true. Well, he does have 3-3 almost completed. Maybe he can get that to work out for him before his SuperNova has his 3-3, but SuperNova is being very slow and methodical with his pushing, and it's really paying off this time.
The only thing he can do is catch him when siege mode isn't up.
Yeah, that's his only chance, and even then, not much of a chance.
Yeah, look at this spread here. So nice. Is he going to cancel? Marines coming up here. SuperNova is being so... was just doing such a good job scouting and checking for everything.
Well,
here comes the attack.
Go. This could be the final attack of this game. A nice couple fungal growths going off, and now the Ultras actually attacking up, destroying as much as they can. But the Medivacs, there's so many of them healing these Marines and Marauders, and it looks like they will be forced back.
Very nicely done. Barely even supplies here, but he has the center, SuperNova. And VortiX doesn't. It doesn't have another base. Let's check the minerals here. Almost empty, almost, well, there's some stuff there. This is the only real cash cow.
Well, if he can get his fourth base back up, that's going to help him out a lot. But the planetary in the center for SuperNova is such a problem here. What is he going to do to take that out?
Oh, man, I don't even know where he can go from here. Okay, if I'm SuperNova, I just let this base finish and then I go kill it.
Well,
and I think that's the end.
You know, he is up about 40 supplies, kind of waiting for his max again. I'd like to see him wait for that 3-3 upgrade to finish as well, because right now he's down in upgrades, but he can just tie that up. But here we go. VortiX realizing he needs to get something done, attacking forward, hitting the siege tanks very quickly. Some nice fun growth going off. These Banelings, can they actually connect? And VortiX, once again, killing off a big chunk of the army of SuperNova.
Whoa, he is pushing him way back here. But is this going to be an overextension?
Too many of the Banelings seem to be hitting things like Siege Tanks and Marauders. He doesn't have a lot of units left here. He's trying to go after this planetary, but the SCV's actually blocking one of the Ultras off.
Oh my God!
Uh-oh.
Is he going to get it?
Can he? And he does. VortiX now going to run away. Can he keep all these Ultras alive? The SCV's stop positioning and holding in the Ultras. Beautiful micro there by SuperNova.
SuperNova's not done yet. He's already got a backup command center. He's going to send that over here. He needs to make another planetary, and he needs to get rid of this base.
Yeah. You know,
if I were him, I'd just send 2 medevacs with Marines, just drop behind here and just do whatever it takes.
He probably should, man. He has 14 medevacs anyways. That's a huge
number.
And
when he reclaims this, he needs to make bunkers everywhere.
Well, we actually have Corruptors on the way. That's interesting. Looks like he wants to switch into his own siege units, the Broodlords. And that's going to be pretty good because there's a lot of Marauders out right now, which aren't very good against those. So we'll see if he can actually get something done with that and push back into that area of the fourth base.
All right, here comes the Marines coming in here. He needs to get this. The Zerg army is already coming over here. He is stimming, and he is going to be leaving as well.
And a nice fungal going down. We'll kill that with the Corruptors. But now that he's shown the Corruptors, SuperNova knows exactly what's going on. He's very likely to attack now. In fact,
saying,
he is.
screw this. I know that you're almost out of minerals. I have extra command centers as well that I can use. I just need to take out this base. He sees the Corruptors too. Not going to be too useful in this attack up here.
Well, he's
nice
trying
spread.
to lure him into a bad attack here. Oh, VortiX has to be careful. He should be backing up a little bit. He does not want to attack down that ramp until he has the Broodlords.
All right, the Broodlords are out, but the hatchery's getting low. It's getting really low.
Oh, can he actually save it? I don't see any Queens around here for transfusion. It's going too low, Tasteless. It's down to 92 hit points, 85 hit points, 28 hit points, and oh my God, he doesn't have anything that can hit it anymore.
Oh my God. You've got to be kidding me.
VortiX, who are you? What is going on right now? Fighting back once again. Now he has a ton of Broodlords. He saved that hatchery at just 28 health.
And, you know, Artosis, he doesn't have any really efficient anti-air, just some Vikings here. He can actually push this and win the game, I think.
Maybe he can. He is making nothing but Corruptors right now to help keep his Broodlords alive. Does have a few Infestors left, but not a big ground army.
Now VortiX in his element with the amazing Broodlord pushes here. Not enough Vikings, certainly more than enough Corruptors along with the Infestors to make that very difficult. If he loses this is the only other extra command center. I suppose he could use the ones from his main too, but you guys know what I'm saying. He's going to be in a lot of trouble.
And out come the Vikings, but look at that, a beautiful fungal growth going off. The Marines coming up, trying to target down Corruptors. He has to kill off those Corruptors so that his Vikings can actually kill the Broodlords. VortiX almost overcommitting there with the Ultras. He wants to keep those alive.
Now remember, no minerals here, no minerals, well, just almost no minerals there. So if he loses this, he's going to be broke as a joke.
Oh, man, look at this. A lot of Corruptors actually being sniped by these Marines. This is really good handling by SuperNova. He's not panicking whatsoever. And these Corruptors getting so low on health. The Marines are just plowing right through them. He can't allow this to occur.
This is absolutely off the hook. SuperNova is doing such a good job, but somehow VortiX he's got him on the edge. Oh my God, I just caught the tail end of this. SuperNova got this hatchery.
Very important moment right there. VortiX's economy now is in shambles, but so is SuperNova's. He has nothing left to mine
He is
from.
spending all of his money trying to repair this.
Oh, can he get it? Sending in his Ultras. It's getting so low. Oh my God.
Well, where the hell does this game go now, guys? I don't really know. This guy's broke. You're broke.
Everyone's broke.
Everybody's broke.
Well, actually, there are a little bit more mineral patches for Zerg here, but uh-oh, he's got to be careful here. He cannot lose these units. These are really his last units. He might not realize how close this game really is right now. Thor trying to deal some extra damage. The Ultra's coming up to kill him off, and SuperNova falling in supply just slightly.
You know what? If you notice, there's actually not a lot of ground units though. So even if the Broodlords be taking it, he's forcing them back. There's a drop over here of 3 SCVs and a Marauder. I don't understand the world anymore. So he's continuing to push forward here.
And now we actually have the Corruptors killing off some of these Vikings. There's still a few Vikings left. The Marines dealing damage as well.
Anybody's game. Long distance mining here by the drones.
VortiX just doesn't have any anti-air left. He has a couple of Corruptors flying up, but the Broodlords are so important right now.
He's VortiX so poor right now. He's only making Zerglings.
Right.
Not a ton of Marines still left here.
Yeah, his army is 28 Lings, a Broodlord, and 2 Corruptors. Is that enough to actually do something?
He's bringing up the SCVs now.
Oh my God, the army of SuperNova, who by the way is not mining minerals at all, is 6 medevacs, 2 Vikings, a siege tank, 2 Marauders, and 2 Marines.
Okay, SuperNova getting on it right now. He needs to he needs to deny the land. He needs to deny it. No, he doesn't.
Oh my God, this is absolutely
but he will force a lift. Oh my God. Now it's going to burn down. He can't afford to repair it.
Yeah, he cannot repair that as long as those Zerglings are underneath it. Now the last Broodlord is being chased down. He is definitely dying. There you go. This is crazy. Huge long distance mining going on by VortiX. Has he actually done it?
I don't know. He's bringing up Queens now since he can't afford to make.
He's going to be transfusing Zerglings in a second here, Tastes, because that's all he has left.
Did he do it? He literally cannot afford to repair this. He has to let this burn down.
I got to show 2 things here.
Hold on. He's going to land at these other bases and just try to use mules for the time being.
Oh, that's really smart.
Oh my God, but there's a Ling under here.
Oh, beautifully done. Look at that production tab. There's a hatchery making. That is it. Look at this income tab. It's almost nothing for both players.
We do have a hatchery coming over here, so he's got enough money to make the hatchery. Now,
he's long distance mining like a madman. In fact, I want to see him take all his drones off gas at this point to help with that.
He's actually going to have to use SCVs.
Is he losing all his Lings?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Wait a minute. No, there's still Lings left.
Right,
and now he picks up. Oh, the other Lings come up.
All right, 42 SCVs still here, 56 drones. This base not done yet. This is just a complete mess over here. He's going to try to land over here. There is a Zergling there. So this is just a nightmare here for SuperNova. I can't believe this game is looking like this. And I have no idea how it's going to end.
Well, I do now, Tasteless. Because we have 4 Infestors making, and Infestors in a situation like this are going to be the nail in the coffin.
I think you're right.
Oh my God, I'm actually getting the sickest nerd chills right now. VortiX somehow, he looked completely dead in Game 4. He brought it back to Game 5. He looked completely dead in Game 5. And here he is about to knock out the man who won his group with the best record in IEM.
Unbelievable. The hatchery's done. The cash flow is in. The command center has been reclaimed. This game is not done yet, guys.
No.
He can actually block the ramp here. And remember, this is a lot of medevacs. with a lot of energy.
Yes, it really is. And in fact, he'll be pulling SCVs to fight as soon as any battles come. But the Infestors are going to be so scary. Just one siege tank to try to zone them out. He can go ahead and kill anything he wants, but a lot is being mined right now.
And he can get a bunker up here. So they can, okay, hold on.
Here we go,
This may
guys.
be it.
And a lot of Infested Terrans being thrown down. The Zerglings going in for the surround right now. Infested Terrans dealing a ton of damage. He does have enough for one fungal if he wants. The Zerglings just ravaging everything, and SuperNova has to evacuate.
I don't want to call it yet, but I think that may be the end of the line. I don't know if he has any other options. I do not think there's actually much left that he can do.
Yeah, VortiX has a fully mining base, Tasteless.
My brain is all over the place trying to figure out if there's something else. Well, okay, no, he could do this, actually. He could go down here. I don't know if that's futile or not.
We're about to see Marines and SCVs attack with a bunch of medevacs.
Is he just going to go for it?
I think so.
No,
he's
not.
He's
got a long distance mine right here.
Oh
but not for long. That's going to land soon.
5 Broodlords, though, are on the way. And when he sees those, we're going to see a GG.
I think so. I mean, he needs to land a few mules like now if he can and try to mine some. Okay, there we go.
There they are, but the Broodlords are a coming, Tasteless, and here they come.
All right, they're spilling in. And I think Artosis is right. I'm just not. This game is actually so insane. I do not believe that there's any other option here. This has been easily one of the best games I've ever had the opportunity to cast, by the way.
It absolutely has been. This best of 5, something that will go down in history of StarCraft 2 for sure. SuperNova so confident in himself. It really looked like he would take it.
And he got this left base over here, too.
This is it, guys. SuperNova is going down. He is not going to win Intel Extreme Masters in Cologne. VortiX, though, looking like he's going to be the 3rd Zerg in the top 4.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you're right, Artosis. VortiX moves on. He already took out 4 GGs. He's been taking out so many good players. All right, so here's what he's going to try to do now. SuperNova is not actually giving up yet. He says, you know what? You don't have a lot of money. My buildings can fly. I'm going to fly around the map, and I'm going to try to take out every other base that you have because the Broodlords, guys, cannot turn around.
Yeah. He's actually going for like a Marine SCV drop, but it does not look like it can work here. He's microing so heavily against these Zerglings, but that is a lot of Zerglings. And as his units do die, he's going to realize, Tasteless, this is just, there's no way out of this
This is it. I think you're right, Artosis. I think this, yeah, that's it.
GG! VortiX takes out SuperNova.
One of the sickest games I have ever seen.
He has destroyed 2 of the best Terrans in the world.
Back-to-back 2 in the same day. And although SuperNova's out, I mean, that was quite the game, man. That was quite the freaking game.
I can't believe what I just saw. I cannot believe this.
Oh my God, that game was so good.
He has done it. He has made the top 4. This is the breakout performance for VortiX.
Talk about a complicated game, and there's so much to talk about. All right, you know what? I don't want to talk anymore. We're going to go ahead and interview VortiX now. So take it away, Jeremy.
Well, it doesn't get much closer than that. Congratulations, VortiX, our winner. After a series like that, how do you feel right now?
Very tired, to be honest, but very nice. I mean, even if I had lost, I think I have shown I am much stronger on macro games, so I'm happy.
So, when are you going to go to Korea?
Huh?
The GSL. Are you going to go?
No.
All right, all right. I think a lot of people might want to see what you could do there. What do you think? I know I would like to see what you do there. Next round, you're going to face either Slivko or MVP, who are coming up in our final match. Which one would you rather face and why?
I don't really mind. Both of them are really strong players. Slivko is really good on CBC. MVP, I guess he's really good on CBT, so I don't really care.
Before I let you go, do you have a message for your fans?
A lot of thanks to everyone for the super and so on. That's it.
Thank you. Well played, man. And we will be right back with our final match of the day. Don't go away.